I'm reminded of A.J.P. Taylor. I remember reading one of his books as a teenager, and in the preface it said, until August 1914, a sensible, law-abiding Englishman could pass through life and hardly notice the existence of the state. Beyond the post office and the postman, he could live where he liked and as he liked. He had no official number or identity card. He could travel abroad or leave his country forever without a passport or any sort of official permission. He could exchange his money for any other currency without restriction or limit. He could buy goods from any country in the world on the same terms as he bought goods at home. For that matter, a foreigner could spend his life in this country without permit and without informing the police. Well, a lot has changed in the last century, but we now live in a state where we are constantly connected, and there are thousands of data points which, should you choose to put it together, you can basically track someone in everything they do. We already have ANPR. You drive along the road, there's a sign saying ANPR cameras in place. Well, the police know where you're driving. Does that stop bad driving? No. Does that stop speeding? No. Does that stop tailgating? No. Does that stop reckless overtaking, driving on the wrong side of the road, aggressive driving, problematic driving, driving wearing a balaclava? I've seen that in London. No. All it does is allows the police, should they choose to investigate you, to find out where you've been. Well, as we've all realised over the last few years, mug an old granny, someone will come and make her a cup of tea and make her feel better. Steal someone's watch, they'll maybe make a fuss about it. But steal a bicycle, park it next to the Metropolitan Police Officer's head office and report it stolen with a digital tag, they'll do nothing. Have your phone stolen, the most they're likely to do is spray paint a roundel on the floor saying a phone was stolen here. The police don't investigate real crimes. The police investigate thought crimes, or you could say lazy crimes. Now tie to that a digital ID. If a digital ID is to be mandatory, then surely the police will have the right to ask for it. Well, right now, the police don't. They have the right to ask you for your name, but you don't have to tell them your name unless you're being detained and charged with an offence. And they have to tell you what that offence is. So, are we to change that law? In what way does this make our lives better? It gives another excuse for us to be hassled, because these days the process is the punishment. It doesn't stop immigration. Well, it's all well and good Macron saying, well, it's because of your lack of ID. Well, that's just another long string of excuses as to why he's not done anything with the hundreds of millions of pounds we've given him. He hasn't done anything because he wants us to have those economic migrants. We all know this won't stop immigration. And it won't stop people working, because you already have a duty to check passport or photographic ID. I remember going for roles and I always have to provide a passport, even if I'm not working directly for the company. If you're employed through another company, they want to know that you have the right to work here. Why? Because they're legitimate. Because that's what legitimate businesses have done for the last 25 years or more. Because you have to, by law. So the truth is that these well over 1 million people who are living and working here illegally are already flouting an existing law. In what way will having an ID help whatsoever? It won't. And we all know it. Isn't it funny that every time Blair and his cronies get into power, they suddenly start thinking, wouldn't it be a good idea to have ID? Well, won't it be wonderful? An ID so that we don't need driving licenses, we don't need passports, we don't need anything except our mobile phone. Why, we don't even need a Tesco club card. The Estonian ID card, which is being espoused as a perfect example, that's how they get their club card points. So, if your supermarket knows everything you're buying and can predict a lot about you, I remember there being an example in America where they sent someone vouchers for nappies and the guy complained, and it turned out that they knew his daughter was pregnant before he did because she started buying unscented soap. Well, the same will happen to you, except they won't be sending you vouchers for nappies. They'll be spying on that gift to your family member, or whether you spend too much on something, or why you're always taking a trip on the tube to X, or a world of other opportunities to spy on you and to know everything about you. It used to be, and the reason I quoted A.J.P. Taylor was that he actually talked about how in 1916, broadly speaking, and I quote again, the state acted only to help those who could not help themselves. It left the adult citizen alone. Well, that is no longer the state of play in this country. We have a government that brands half the country right wing, and they want to have your ID. If you don't see a problem with that, good luck.